Good afternoon, everybody. This is Alan Beckley. I'm the inventor of the Wonder Wallet, and today I decided to do something a little different. I'm actually broadcasting from inside my house because I want to have a little fun. One, two, it's a little bit cold outside. Some of you wonder why it is I always have this alanbeckley.com sticker on. Is it because I forget my name? Well, that could be, but really I do it for another reason. Looks a little cattywampus here. All right. Anyways, and that is, I know a lot of people watch videos with the sound turned down. They may be watching at work. And so this way you know what my website is, alanbeckley.com. And on there, there's lots of information, including 2 webinars I'm going to be doing this week. In fact, tomorrow and Thursday. These are free webinars. Transform your idea into a successful product. One is going to be Wednesday, i.e. tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. And all the details are on my website. What is that? alanbeckley.com/webinars. You can find all the details there and a link to click to sign up. Love to have as many people there as you can. The last one we did in November went over really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you guys and gals there. And then on Thursday, it'll be the same webinar, but it will be at, again, 7 p.m. And again, on my webinar, on my website, alanbeckley.com/webinars, you can find all the details. But since I'm shooting from inside, I do love to travel, and I take what I call boondoggle trips when I go someplace internationally to see something I really enjoy doing. I just love the experience of traveling and seeing different things. So I thought I would show you just a few photos I have around my, well, there goes that. Anyways, a few photos I have around my working space here, my studio, from some of my travels that I've had in the last couple of years. So let's see how that goes with the ambient light conditions here. You may see this bright red photo, and probably many of you recognize that as Ayers Rock. That's in Australia in the outback, and I was there back in March of last year, and the seasons are reversed there, so it was about 105 degrees when I was at Ayers Rock, and there were mosquitoes and little flies everywhere, so it was a delightful 2 or 3 hours walking around and looking at Ayers Rock. But this is a pretty decent picture of Ayers Rock. So anyways, that worked out well. And here's one of my favorites, and I'm going to change the screen so it won't be in reverse here, if I can, because right now the letters are reversed. So I got this when I was in Peru. So far it's not liking me turning it. There it is. Well, it still doesn't like it. All right, so we'll do it this way. So I got this when I was in Peru on Lake Titicaca. It says Isla Los Uros, Lago Titicaca. And I thought it was a pretty cool tapestry, so that's why I got it. Done by the people who live on Los Uros, which is literally a series of islands that are made out of reeds floating in Lake Titicaca, and they've been there since the 1400s, I believe. So anyways, I thought that was pretty cool. This I've had for probably 40 years. It's a Panamanian mola because I was born in the Panama Canal Zone, and this is kind of a nice one. The Indians there make these very, very cool stitched items like this with different kinds of tapestry and things on them. So anyway, so those are a few goodies I have about. You can hear my cat. I'll try a couple others and see if they come out well or not. This is, no, that didn't come out because of background light. This one probably didn't either. But anyways, this is Cairns, Australia, a hotel I stayed with beautiful tropical stuff. And one last one, and then I'll get to the main point here. This also is a pretty nice downtown view of Melbourne, Australia. Another one of my favorite places. So anyway, so there's just a little bit of a travel pics from some of the ventures I've been on. For anybody who is interested in such things, if you go to my website, alanbeckley.com, there's a My Travels page where there's a whole bunch more of these kinds of things. So there's that. Let me see if I can change this a second to go back to me. Here we go. All right, so let's come back to me. And So let me get back to the main topic here. So the topic for today's webinar is going to be inventing as a side hustle. Inventing is ideal to do as a side hustle, do something as it's part-time, because the reality is the vast majority of things that you need to do as an inventor, and especially in the early days, can be done anytime. They can be done at night, they can be done on weekends, whatever time you have available. The vast bulk of the things you need to do not have to be done during working hours. So that's perfect for a side hustle. Now there are a few exceptions. One of them is when you go to pitch your product, for example, for licensing, as I have done, you generally need to go to meet with somebody face-to-face, probably in a distant city, wherever their company is located, and that means you will need to be there on business hours. So, ergo, you will have to schedule a little bit of time to do things like that. And there's some other things. Sometimes when you're working with a patent attorney, you may need to meet with, or you probably will need to meet with him or her during business hours. But those meetings are few and far between. And once you've got a patent pending, most of what you need to do can be done either by telephone or by email. So there won't be a lot of those meetings either. But I guess the best way to think about inventing as a side hustle, for that matter, anything that you would consider doing as a side hustle, is to look at the potential, right? I've said it many times, and the reality is inventing is very risky, right? It's about as risky as becoming an actor and hoping to make big bucks. However, the potential can be very good if you are successful as an inventor, especially if you license your product. So the idea of putting some time into a side hustle that might actually earn you an income in the form of royalties that you get paid every quarter, perhaps for a few years or many years, as I have done at least for a few years with regards to the Wonder Wallet. So it's nice going and checking that mailbox and saying, oh, look, there's another royalty check for me, and realizing that you don't have to go to work to have that. So that's a greatness, because most people, if you don't show up to the office for 2 or 3 months, that's probably not going to work out well. I can guarantee you they're not going to continue to pay you, right? So you got to show up. So that's the great potential that you could have if you are successful as an inventor. So that's your why. Why in the heck would you want to be doing inventing as a side hustle? The what really is a few key elements that you must put together. One of them is you need to come up with a product, an idea that's something different, innovative, that solves an annoying problem that people have, and hopefully can sell to millions of people. That's your real goal with an inventing, is to have ideally a small consumer product, in my opinion, that would sell for $25 or less, that would solve an annoying problem. Sometimes people say, so what is an annoying problem? I'll give you an example. So millions of women every day are in a hurry to get to work, and they put their purse on the car seat next to them, and they get going down the corner, and they roll around the corner, and all of a sudden, guess what? Their purse dumps out all over the floor with all of its contents. This could be you. It happens to a lot of people. So an inventor came up with a very simple concept called a purse pouch. Was it purse pouch? Oh well. No, anyways, whatever it's called. Anyhow, I think it's purse pouch. But anyways, it was a net that went behind the seat or connected between the seats where you could put your purse in there, and it guarantees the purse isn't going to spill. So it was an annoying problem that was simply solved by this as seen on TV product, right? So there's all kinds of things like that, and there's all sorts of other problems that need to be solved. So maybe you will find the next problem to solve. But back to mechanics. So you've got your why. If I'm very successful as an inventor, then doing this as a side hustle could be well worth it. Then you've got some mechanics. So the mechanics are you need an idea or an invention, and you need to protect it with a patent if you are seriously wanting to do anything with it. So in the beginning, you can do something quite simple called a PPA, provisional patent application. And with that, you can do that as little as $65, with an attorney a bit more. And that gives you 1 year to test out your idea, your product, before you have to file a utility patent, which does indeed cost a bit more. But that's a mechanic. So at some point, if you're going to have a product, an invention, the only thing you really have to sell is the intellectual property, the patents. So you do need to have a patent. So that's just something you get started at one point in time, preferably in the beginning. And another item, of course, is you need a prototype. You need a working prototype because you cannot take it and show it to anybody unless you can show them how it works. And you need to know for your own purposes that it really will work when you try it out. And when I say a prototype, I did about 10 prototypes with my thin wallets. Each one was a slight refinement. So you need to make as many prototypes as necessary to accomplish what you're trying to do. So you need to file for a patent, at least a provisional to get started for a year. You need to have a prototype or get some help doing a prototype and prototypes, really. And then beyond that, you need to study the market and know why your product would be a good solution to things and what are some of the companies that might benefit from your product. As I mentioned earlier, virtually everything in this whole process can be done part-time, evening hours, and weekends. And so for all of those reasons, inventing as a side hustle is a great option. So more on that, my latest blog this week. And of course, I think I said earlier, dropped it on the floor. That is on alanbeckley.com, which is now backwards again. Oh well. And also there is access to a freebie, and that is a little downloadable free item that has some more ideas about inventing as a side hustle. So anyway, I enjoyed spending a little time with you as sort of a pre-Christmas sort of fun way to show a little bit about some of the things that I've done in traveling and what have you, and also to share with you my ideas about doing inventing as a side hustle. So we will see you guys next year, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys tomorrow when 7 p.m. Central in the Transform Your Idea to Successful Invention. And also Thursday night, the same thing. These are free webinars, and there's a lot of information in them. So if you get a chance, tune in, go to my website, alanbeckley.com, and there's a page that has everything you need to know about the webinars. Thanks a lot, everybody. Happy holidays. Sai Chen.